Let's be honest for a second. If knowing what to do was enough, you would already be consistent. You would already be disciplined. Your life would already be on track. But it's not. So clearly, that's not the problem. And this is not one of those videos where I repeat, work hard, wake up early, stay focused. You've heard all that. This is different. This is a system. One that works even when you don't feel like working. And here's the best part. It doesn't matter where you are right now. Whether you can't stay consistent for 3 days, you keep starting and stopping, or you're doing okay, but want real results. There's a version of this system that works for you. You just need to recognize where you are. Because right now, most people are trying to change their lives with motivation. And motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel unstoppable. Other days you can't even open your laptop. So instead of depending on how you feel, let's build something that works, even on your worst days. Here's the system. Make it obvious. Make it attractive. Make it easy. Make it satisfying. Simple. But where most people mess up is how they apply it. If you're the kind of person who can't stay consistent, you're in what I call the restart phase. Because this is where most people are. You start something, you feel motivated, then 3 days later, you disappear. Not because you're lazy, but because you're trying to do too much, too fast. You go from doing nothing, trying to fix your entire life overnight. Gym, diet, reading, productivity, all at once. Let me tell you the truth, that's not discipline. That's overload. So instead, you make everything stupidly easy. Not easy. Stupidly easy. 1 push-up, 1 page, 2 minutes. And I know what you're thinking. This won't change anything. Exactly. That's why it works. Because now there's no pressure, no resistance, no excuse. At this point, you're not trying to improve your life. You're just becoming someone who shows up, even when you don't feel like it. And if you keep forgetting, that's not a character flaw. That's a setup problem. So you fix your environment. The habit is in your face, hard to ignore, easy to start, and slowly you stop quitting. If you're the kind of person who keeps starting and stopping, now you've made some progress. But it's not stable. You're consistent for a few days, then something happens, and everything falls apart. You're in what I call the on-off phase. And you start telling yourself, maybe I'm just not disciplined. No, you just have too many decisions. Because every time you ask, should I do this today? You give yourself a chance to say no. So you remove the question. You attach the habit to your life. After something you always do. Now it just happens. No thinking, no debate. And then there's something most people ignore, your environment. Let's be real. If your phone is next to you, you will scroll. If distractions are around, you will use them. That's not a weakness. That's design. So you change the design. Make good habits easy. Make bad habits annoying. And on days you don't feel like it, because those days will come, you don't stop. You just shrink it. You do the smallest version. Because something small keeps the habit alive. And this is where things start to click. You're no longer starting and stopping. You're staying. If you're consistent, but want real results, now this is where it gets interesting. You're in what I call the breakthrough phase. Because now, your biggest problem is not starting. It's not consistency. It's boredom. Everything feels repetitive, predictable, not exciting anymore. And this is where most people sabotage themselves. Because they think, if it's not exciting, it's not working. But real progress feels boring. So instead of chasing motivation again, you shift your focus from results to identity. You stop saying, I'm trying, and you start becoming, I am. I am someone who shows up. I am someone who finishes things. I am someone who stays consistent. Because every action you take is proof. Proof of the person you're becoming. Now you make it visible. You track it. Nothing complicated. just something you can see. A streak, a mark, something you don't want to break. And when you mess up, because you will, you don't panic. You don't restart next week. You don't disappear. You just don't let it happen twice. Because once is normal. Twice is how patterns begin. And this is where everything makes sense. You don't rise to your goals. You fall to your systems. Let's make this simple. If you can't stay consistent, make it smaller. Make it obvious. Just show up. If you keep falling off, remove decisions. Fix your environment. If you want real results, keep going even on bad days. Focus on who you're becoming. Track your actions. Accept the boring. And don't disappear. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need more motivation. You don't need to fix your life. You just need a system that works when you don't feel like working. So don't try to change everything today. Just pick one thing. Make it obvious. Make it easy. Make it satisfying. And show up. Even when you don't feel like it. Because if you do this long enough, you won't just get better. You'll become someone completely different.